We're live in a minute and 26 seconds. Alright, it's about to get real.
Does it actually have a countdown on there?
Yeah, there's the countdown. Live in
that's
a
pretty
minute
cool.
and 16.
So I'll put
Here, I can actually hear us discreetly with one AirPod in.
Oh, that's a good idea. Remember that live audio might be different.
Yeah.
Because when we went back to watch the video, like I said, the audio was fine until I started turning yours up. Then it got like really loud. So I'm glad that I turned it back down and go, oh shit. How long does it say that we have?
It's not on a countdown anymore.
It's what?
It doesn't show me a countdown anymore. It says live at 10:30.
Oh, okay.
One waiting, which is us. It's 10:30. Do we click anything to go live?
Oh, okay. Now it should be.
Are we live?
Yep.
We are?
Yeah, try refreshing it. Right, we are going to start in just a moment.
Yep, we're in a minute.
All right. Did Nanny ever message you back?
Nope, I'm gonna copy the link again and send her it again.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Alright.
It's looking good over there?
Huh?
It's looking good over there? You messaged her?
Yeah, I messaged her.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started for now.
Alright.
Today, we're starting a new series. So Sundays, if you join us on Sundays, we're going to be doing the Bible reading, where we go through the Bibles from beginning to end, each book. We're doing that one at a reasonable pace, going kind of a couple chapters at a time, and then just kind of discussing what it means to us and stuff, and seeing what the chat has to say about what it means to them as well. So we're starting a new series that we want to start doing on Mondays. Basically, it's gonna start with a couple of personal books, and then once we're done with those, it'll eventually lead into some other books. Like, well, we can even take requests from the audience. It could be books that we've never read before, as far as just audience recommendations. But today is going to start with a more personal one. not to be somber and everything, but my father passed away last May. Not going to go into too much detail about it, but he wrote a couple of books before he died. One of them was about his motivational speaking that he did. It's called Laugh to Live. That's actually the title of the stream for the start of this series. And he mainly, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what it was too, because he does that in this book. By the way, here's the book. You can actually, I'll figure out a way to get links so that people can order that as we go through this, if people want to purchase a copy of it. But in a nutshell, while he was working at Lockheed Sanders, he just decided to put together this motivational speaking program about laughter in the workplace and how it's just a good form of medicine. So, yeah. You have any input before we get started? Any?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah. It's a hard topic, but
It's a hard topic?
it is.
Okay.
It is.
I guess we will begin. So we're going to start with chapter 1. Like I said, here's the book. We've got Laugh to Live, an Attitude Primer by Dick Kirtley. And that's
Can't
actually...
hear me. It's saying that they can't hear me.
What'd you say?
They're chat's saying that they can't hear me.
Who?
Someone. I think that's Nanny.
Oh, that's Nanny.
Oh. Well, Nanny's saying that the audio is not picking me up. We have 3 viewers
probably
right now,
turn up the microphone because it's picking you up on here.
Oh, so turn up the volume on.
Yeah.
So have them turn up the volume?
Yeah. Of course it's starting to rain.
It starts to rain at the perfect time, huh?
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try and get started.
Talk louder.
So.
Well, then you told us not to wake up the neighbors, is what she said.
Okay, we're not gonna have that conversation on during the live.
Right, that's fine.
So we're gonna start with the dedication. So the first page, the dedication. We'll have Dylan read the dedication.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the dedication. To my wife, Debbie, for tolerating the child in me, for the idea to expand my corporate humor in the workplace seminar to my international Laugh to Live message, for word processing this book, for sharing this kitchen, for singing around the house, and for keeping the checkbook balanced, but most of all for loving me unconditionally. To hers, mine, and ours, Christy, Travis, Ricky, Tommy, and Stacy, for making it all work and for a lifetime of material and memories.
Okay. So that's the dedication. Then there's a couple of quotes that he put in here. So I'll read a couple of the quotes that he put on the inside, the first page right on the other side of the dedication. This first one is from Francis Ford Coppola. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I want to set a precedent for my children. They won't hear me say on my deathbed that I wish I had lived my life differently. The second one is from my dad, Dick Kirtley, Amherst Middle School, Project Safeguard Closing. So I guess this is a quote from him. Parents, what legacies will you leave your kids? Kids, what values will you inherit from your parents? Parents, love your kids and invest quality time in their lives. The payback is awesome. Kids, love your parents and treasure your time with them. Above all, communicate and laugh together. Do these things and your life will be sweeter. Have an unbelievable day. So that was a couple of quotes that he put, and now we'll move on to the foreword, and I'll let Dylan take on the.
All
He can go ahead and take on the foreword.
right. The foreword. I was honored and delighted to see Dick Kirtley's continued research and practice of healthy humor in his new book, Laugh to Live. I had the good fortune to study family shrinks with Dr. John Dufresne and Dr. Snick Stinnett at the University of Nebraska in the 80s. I was convinced that healthy humor was one of those shrinks, but no one had done any research to relate or integrate humor into their studies, more particularly that which is healthy humor in that family setting. My pioneer research involved creating an instrument which would uncover the strength of a particular family and correlate it with the types and amounts of humor used by family members. Strong families used humor which was not sarcastic, humor which did not make fun of other family members, jokes which have superiority at the roots, as do most jokes which were used less in the healthy families. Family fun was a higher scorer in healthy family stories, which continue to surface years later, even at funerals. In an age when one can lose a job for laughing at the wrong moment, I am glad to see someone like Dick Kirtley promoting one of our best resources for a long and happy life, healthy humor. Dr. John, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't know. Werfel.
Werfel, PhD.
He is a PhD though. So, all right. So now we'll move on to the introduction. Oh, excuse me. So the introduction. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. James Baldwin. The year was 1970, and there I was, water skiing behind a sleek Kenner ski boat. Several things made this unique, not the least of which was the fact that, besides the man driving, we also had another on the .50 caliber machine gun mounted in the front of the boat. Adding to the uniqueness was the setting. I was skiing in front of the village of Go Dao Ha on the Vam Co Dong River, 10 miles from the Cambodian border. Behind me was the remaining one-third of the bridge which, until the Viet Cong blew it up, had carried traffic on Highway 1 between Saigon and Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I'm sure I'm going to get ripped apart if anybody watches this ever again and is Cambodian or from Vietnam. I apologize for totally butchering these words. So, on the east side, hundreds of curious Vietnamese villagers watched our personal version of Apocalypse Now. You want to take on the next page?
Sure.
So now we'll switch back to Dylan. Go ahead.
As illustrated by that short story, when it comes to the use of humors as a life skill and stress reliever, I have always been a practitioner first and a theorist second. All of the theories on the value of humor and laughter to our physical and mental health were thoroughly tested as I practiced life long before I added those theories to my speaking repertoire. I can't talk tonight. Armed with that combination of practice and theory, I set out in 1995 to change the world. While, truth be told, I really initially set out to only change the increasingly depressing moral of the employees at Lockheed Sanders, the electronics arm of the huge Lockheed Corporation, and many employers at the time. The industry was being decimated by budget cuts at a time when the economy saw housing values plummet. Our New Hampshire-based part of the company has seen its workforce cut from approximately 7,000 to less than 3,000. We were not cutting chaff, but rather than long-term engineering and manufacturing talent, sending them out into an economy with no jobs for their skills and their real estate values dropping like a rock. With each layoff announcement, the moral meter swung lower. It was that environment and some personal life circumstances that stimulated the development of My Humor in the Workplace Creating a Positive Environment seminar, which which quickly became a bestseller in the Lockheed training curriculum and ultimately led me to the third career as a speaker. You want to continue there?
I'll take it. So over time, as I spoke to more varied audiences, I realized that such things as choice, attitude, stress, balance, organizational culture, role models, etc., were not only important players in their own right, but that humor and laughter could help us deal with each. This book is that sometimes rambling journey that took Mrs. Kirtley's little boy Dickie from a small-town Virginia boy to a Johnny Appleseed, sowing the seeds of humor wherever the ground was barren, and ultimately to my practiced theory, laugh to live. It is my hope that you will share my passion and draw inspiration from this book that will change your approach to life. If not, perhaps a single borrowed tidbit, subtly used at the appropriate time, while momentarily relieve the stress of a tense situation for you and those around you. In my seminar, with the help of volunteer parrot heads, I present in musical form my entire theory and life's practice, a simple logical summary from my favorite Jimmy Buffett song, Changes in Latitudes. It's those changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes, nothing remains quite the same. With all of our running and all of our cunning, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. You want to take on the next one?
He is so right. Our lives, personal and professional, are changing at an incredible speed. Technology, morals, cultures all morph before our very eyes. We think we're out in front of it all, only to fall hopelessly behind in the blink of an eye. Humor and laughter, while not a panacea, I don't know how to pronounce that, are certainly a life preserver on the stormy sea of life. I have taken this temporarily tranquil moment, a brief period of calm seas in my life, to toss you a life ring, pull you in, and offer you a seat in my lifeboat. Behind me lay the personal stories of lost loved ones, failed relationships, economic disasters and bankruptcy, integration of hers, mine, and ours into a single family, war and separation, and many others. On the horizon, I see the threatening clouds of growing old, a cancer diagnosis, struggling offspring, economic uncertainty, and world crisis. I look over at my wife, my life partner, and I smile. Humor and laughter have eased life's burdens to this point and will continue to do so. Only yesterday, I made her promise that at my wake I will be viewed wearing a red foam clown nose, my Laugh to Live trademark, which I have distributed by the hundreds as many apple seeds. So come aboard, mate, and indulge me in my ramblings. Take what you like and discard the rest, but promise me that you'll leave with a smile on your face.
All right, and with that, we move officially into Chapter 1.
Or Chapter 1, yeah.
So Chapter 1, it's called Choices. I took one of those psychological tests to determine what my best career choice would be. I'm best qualified to be an organ donor. It's an unknown author for that quote.
Yeah.
For me, the key to life is choice. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning, you begin to make choices. I also believe your choices are a direct result of your attitude. We'll get to attitude. But first, let's look at some of your basic choices by examining the first conscious thought of an optimist and a pessimist. The pessimist's first waking thought is something like a grumble. Good God, it's morning. The negative mood is set. They will see nothing but the problems the rest of the day. The optimist, on the other hand, has the same thought, only with a different intonation. Intonation, yeah. Good God, it's morning! In this case, a positive mood is set. And this person will see solutions for the rest of the day.
All right. Opportunities for choice, large and small, continue throughout the day and continue their influences on us. The negative person can't wait to get downstairs, complain about having to walk the mutt, and turn on the TV to catch the final body count in yesterday's tragedy. The positive person can't wait to greet the dog and go for that walk. If they do watch the news, they accent the positive, the good Samaritan, the tireless rescue workers, etc.
Etc.
Doesn't matter. They may even choose a cartoon to stimulate the first of many chuckles that day. The first major test of choices and their consequences come while driving, not only to work but anywhere. To the negative person's driving is a contest. It's them against the world. It's all the race, tailgating with lights flashing and horn blowing, passing on the right, timing the yellow light, running the red, cursing the cell phone for its failures, road warrior with the road rage. Conversely, the positive person realizes that driving is merely a means to get there safely. They also know that all of the tactics mentioned above may only gain them more minutes off of their arrival time, while the stress of it all will remove days from their life. The positive person goes with the flow, showing courtesy to fellow travelers, even passing to allow a waiting vehicle access to a busy street. They have their favorite music playing. What?
You're reading some words wrong. You're reading too fast. Slow down because you're skipping over. You're like even pausing to allow a waiting vehicle access to a busy street and allowing for mere minutes and not more minutes. You're reading too fast, so you're skipping over words and saying words wrong.
Okay. So they have their favorite music playing. I take the positive driving adventure one step further. I keep one of my aforementioned red foam clown noses in my car at all times, and as sure as I fasten my seatbelt, I put on the nose before leaving the driveway.
The nose serves two purposes. First, it is a constant reminder to me not to get caught up in the rage around me. You cannot be angry when you glance in your rearview mirror and catch a glimpse of yourself as Bozo the Clown. More important is the reaction of other drivers. In most cases, their stress level drops significantly, even if only momentarily. The heavier and slower the traffic, the better the reactions I tend to receive. I have had construction workers, exhausted, anticipating that cold beer, look over and do a double take. Then, I get something like a thumbs up, a smile, and a "Yo, dude!" The weight of the day's turmoil is temporarily lifted from their shoulders. The best reaction comes from kids and their parents. The kids will laugh and wave, and I can just hear the conversation. "Mom, Mom, look at that funny man with the clown nose." And then Mom cautioning them, "Don't look. There's something very wrong with that man." It should be noted here that the reaction to my car nose from my family remains mixed. My wife pleads simply, "Please take that off." My youngest son happily joins in the antics, and in fact is, himself, a distributor of noses. Yes, I am. My youngest daughter simply refuses to get into the car or even to acknowledge me when I'm picking her up until I lose the nose.
So, choices, large and small, come at you endlessly throughout the day, and your responses determine the quality of your life and of those around you. Make the positive choices early each day from your first waking movements and set the momentum for the rest of the day. Try this other simple jump start. I'm sure you are familiar with the expression TGIF, short of course for Thank God It's Friday. This is even a restaurant chain called TGIF. Why is it that most people think that way? Their week starts with Good God It's Monday, from their Wednesdays become Over the Hump Day, downhill to the weekend. Then finally, TGIF, people spend their lives 1 week at a time, miserable for 5 or 6 days, just looking ahead to the 1 or 2 days they can enjoy. They waste huge chunks of their lives, learn to say thank God it's Monday. I'm reading too fast, just like you said. Learn to say, thank God it's Monday, thank God it's Tuesday, thank God it's whatever day it is. Get t-shirts that say TGIM, TGIT, TGIW. If you spend most of your week miserable at what you are doing, then you are either doing the wrong things or doing it wrong. Make small, conscious, positive choices minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. Gradually, it will become a habit. People will notice your transformation, which will make it easier to sustain until finally it is a way of life.
So, with that takes care of chapter 1. So next Monday at about the same time, maybe a little bit earlier, give or take, we'll move on to chapter 2, which is attitude. So, with that, maybe I'll read you guys the back part of the book real quick too before we call this one an evening, because he wrote a little excerpt on the back too. So he says, in the world of motivational speakers, theorists abound, but it is rare to find a down-to-earth practitioner with real-world experience in theory application who can share it with passion. In this book, as in his seminars, Dick draws from his years in the military, industry, theater, family, and guest teaching to deliver practical approaches to such things as life choices, attitude for success, a work-play balance, laughter, sense of humor, organizational culture, role models, and more. It is truly an attitude primer for all ages. Dick Kirtley is a humorous motivational speaker, devoted husband, father, and grandfather. Following graduation from the Naval Academy and a 20-year Navy career, including a year in Vietnam, he held various management positions with Lockheed Martin and BAE Systems, retiring in 2006 as operations director. In 1996, Dick developed a course for Lockheed titled Humor in the Workplace, Creating a Positive Environment, which he taught for years throughout the company. His speaking service, Laugh to Live, has since allowed him to spread his unique message internationally to businesses, schools, and professional social organizations. And I don't know if he's still got the website up or not. I'll have to check, but you can always www.laughtolive.com. I'll have to double check that. I would be surprised if it was still up, to be honest, because I think he actually took it down or stopped paying for the website before he passed away. So I don't think that's still up. But if anybody wants a copy of the book, Laugh to Live, you can reach out to us and we can figure out how to get you a copy. So with that, thank you guys for joining us this week, right? And we'll be back again next week with chapter 2.